What is up, guys? Eric Janicki back here with another amazing video. Today we are hitting back, and I'm going to show you my 5 top exercises for a bigger and wider back. I know this is something that a lot of people neglect, is growing their back or having much specificity at all with their back training, but I'm going to give you my 5 top exercises, so do not want to miss this video. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. It's free to you. So without further ado, let's get it. First exercise, what I'm going to do is a pull down variant, but I'm not going to sit underneath the pad. The reason for this is twofold. One, it's going to allow me for greater range of motion. That's the biggest thing. When I sit underneath this, it's disallowing me from getting that full stretch at the top of my rep. The second thing is ergonomics. By positioning myself farther back, I'm able to dig more into that lower and mid lat, more so than if I'm straight up and down. I'm gonna get a lot more rear delts and rhomboids. So what I'm gonna do is, you can either go fully kneeling on this, or you can go 1 foot back. So what I'm gonna do is come here. I'm gonna dig in, squeeze low as possible, digging those elbows in, and then slow on that eccentric. Big stretch to the top of the rep, dig in, hold at the bottom. So you can even do these kneeling as well. Stretch here, pull as low in as you can, really dig those elbows in, concentrate on that peak contraction point, stretch at the top. So there's something called stretch mediated hypertrophy. So the more you stretch the tissue before contracting it, the more hypertrophy you're gonna get. So really squeezing, pulling those elbows back. Another form cue you always want to think about when hitting back is you want to retract your scapula. You want to open up your chest and lean back and dig those elbows in. A lot of people when they do back, they'll be here. You want to open the chest up, arch the back, posturally pull back and retract through the scapula, pulling those elbows. You're going to get so much better peak contraction and more contraction overall through your mid back, through your lower lats, which is going to create that width in your back. Second exercise, we have a rope pullover. So we're gonna have a cable in the top position. We're gonna put a rope in on that cable. We're going to pull our body back. A lot of people do pullovers here. They'll be straight up and they'll be here. You're gonna be using a lot of rear delt because you're trying to hold the weight back. What I wanna do is back my whole body up and away from the cable, and I wanna match the angle of my upper body, my torso, with the angle of the cable. So you can see I'm in the exact same position here. That's gonna keep my body leverage over the weight. So when I push down and through, I'm gonna hit all lats, no rear delts. So I'm gonna come here, slow on that eccentric, that negative portion. I'm gonna reach for it, stretch, open that tissue up, and then drive underneath. Getting a good 2 count hold. If you can't hold that rep for at least the first few at the bottom of your rep here, slight elbow bend, tucking it back, it's too heavy for you. Another form cue I like to tell people on these is, you know when you're as a kid on the roller coasters, when you go like pull your seatbelt down like this, that's literally the position you want to be in at the bottom of your rep. Slight elbow bend, pushing down and back behind you. Pretend like that rope is your seatbelt on the roller coaster. If you don't push it down far enough, you're gonna go flying off. So we don't want that. So right here, digging in, squeezing, holding, slow on the eccentric. And if you go behind me, you'll see how much lat engagement I'm getting on this. So pullovers is a great way to isolate your lats. If you're feeling a lot of triceps, try that. Try leaning over it more and leveraging the weight more and pulling through. You're probably also going too heavy if you're feeling a lot of triceps. So go lighter, find that contraction in your what's called your teres and upper lat, and then go heavier as you can continue to build on that contraction. Okay, exercise number 3, we're gonna do a seated row. So I've got a mag grip on here. If you guys have these at your gym, they're an awesome tool, but you don't necessarily need this. You can use your traditional V grip, or you can do a straight bar pull. I always suggest having a rowing movement in your training. It is the most proficient movement in building a bigger, thicker back. So what I'm gonna do here is always hit full range of motion. So I know a lot of people when they're doing their rows, they like to be here and hit them right just like this. You're underutilizing so much tissue. So I'm gonna have Safe come a little closer to me, and I wanna see how much stretch I get in my lats when I get full range of motion on these. So I'm gonna reach for it. I'm gonna keep postural. I'm not going to rush these. I'm gonna get a big stretch, and then I'm gonna dig underneath, squeezing those lats. So by stretching out before I work, I'm able to really feel the muscle group I'm about to target. Squeezing through. Slow eccentric. You see how I'm still maintaining an arch back even when I stretch, getting a huge stretch in the lats, then digging in. So I'm gonna hit this for 8 to 10 with that good negative, and then I'll fire through some failure reps. So that's a principle called pre-exhaust and exhaust. So I'm pre-exhausting with those hold reps, huge range of motion, and then I'm doing some exhaust reps. I'm speeding them up, really driving the hypertrophy into that tissue. So that's a tool that you guys can utilize in pretty much any exercise that you're doing. All right, fourth exercise we're gonna do is a single arm kneeling row. So you can either do these from the top position or the bottom position. From the top position, you're gonna be hitting a little bit of a different part of the back. You're gonna be hitting more mid lat, lower lat. From the bottom, you're gonna hit more rhomboids. So I'm gonna go from high to low. I really like this variant. I know, surprise, surprise, we're still on the cables. This isn't a full top 5 cable back exercise. This is a full 5 back exercises. But the reason it's all on the cables is because for back especially, it's so beneficial to be able to control what's called the vector of force. So I'm able to put the cable up at this top position, and I'm able to pull high to low. With a dumbbell, that vector of force, through gravity, there's no option other than straight down. So what's unique about cables, I can put this vector of force here, down, here, across, low to high, and that's why I love cables for back especially, because it's so important to hit those. Why I'm hitting an isolateral movement here, and I add these to my exercises, is because you'll see when I do a single arm movement, I'm able to twist the body, ergonomically stretch, almost reach for it, and then dig it in and pull that shoulder back even more dramatically than on a dual pull, because I'm able to twist that body very slightly to get that peak contraction. So you'll see what I'm saying here. So I'm gonna go left hand, left knee down. So always remember, pulling hand, that is the knee that's gonna be down. So you're gonna see what I'm saying, how much I'm able to twist the body and open up that before digging in, pulling underneath. Palm goes to supinated. We're going pronated at the bottom or at the top of the rep for that stretch. And then we're gonna dig in, supination, squeeze, slow on the out. Big squeeze, slow on the out. So the benefit for this exercise is we are going to be getting full range of motion here and full peak contraction, and I get to isolate the side that I'm working. So I don't have to worry about hitting both at once. I can just feel for this left lat, for this left rhomboid, for the mid back, just on this left side as I hit these. So if you guys aren't doing any isolateral pulling movements in your back day, add them, add this. You can go high to low. I can put this down at the very bottom, and I'm hitting a lot of a different muscle group. So I can even go kneeling here. I can go here. I can go kneeling. You can see how these create a slightly different stimuli with each different angle, and that's why cables are so proficient at hitting your back. All right, fifth exercise, surprise, surprise, still on the cables, finish out. I wanna hit an upper back, rear delt up through the traps for this last exercise. Just complete that full back look and density. So we're gonna go basically a rope high pull, pulling the elbows up and in. So you can either do this standing or kneeling. I'm gonna show you guys the standing variant. So I'm gonna come out this way so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna go a slight stagger stance. We're gonna start with the pinkies facing kind of slightly up, and then that's gonna allow us to dig back and lean back, hold at the back, Slow on the eccentric as always. Big stretch, open up. Pull those elbows high. You kind of want to have these pieces be about aiming for your ears and keep those elbows up. I see a lot of people will start here and then they'll let their elbows fall. You're losing contraction where you want it. Keep those elbows high. All the way through, even on that eccentric portion. Reach for it, pull back and squeeze. I usually like to hit these for about 10 to 12 hold reps, followed by failure reps. So those are those pause reps. And at the end of my set, I'll hit some failure burnouts. It's a really, really good way, guys, to build a full, complete back. So those are my top 5 exercises to build a bigger, broader back. And one thing I wanted to note before finishing this video is that sometimes it's less about exercise selection and more about how you're moving the weight. So as you notice, I was explaining a lot about time under tension, range of motion. These are so important and a lot of times trump the exact specific exercises that you're doing. It's more about how you're performing them, how proficient you are at them. And then I don't want to see you guys do these for the next 3 months. Do these because they're new to you, but then I want to see you guys progressively modulate your exercise selection because that's so important to provide that new stimuli, but still maintain time under tension, range of motion, isolateral movements. These are all gonna be so important for your growth. So I'm not saying you can only do cables for your back for the rest of your life. Do dumbbells, do barbells, but I don't want to see you doing barbells rows like this. You're not really going to be hitting your back. But if I see you doing a barbell row like this, I'll be like, that's my guy. He's been watching Eric Janicki Fitness YouTube videos. So hope you guys love this video. I can't wait to see you guys on the next one. I hope you guys are loving the content. As a reminder, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please do, guys. Free to you, means the world to me. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Let's get it.